what we recommend this time is a very balanced asset allocation.
Okay.
आपका थोड़ा रिटर्न कम होगा लेकिन आपको चैन की नींद आ सकती है. And we always also believe that your investment should not keep you awake at night. It should allow you to sleep at night. The biggest bottleneck in AI is going to be power. So all the power companies, the power generation, power transmission, उसकी जो डिमांड आने वाली है वो बहुत आएगी. So stock specific you can play out this. So start with the theme but end with the stock. तो ये जो $D भी है क्राइसिस है वो आएगी. अगले 2 साल में आने वाले 5 साल में आने वाले मुझे मालूम नहीं है. बट ये ग्रेजुअल हो रहा है. At one point there'll be a crisis and the crisis will force us to find an answer.
Hello everyone, it's a great privilege to have Mr. Rashesh Shah sir with me for an amazing conversation. Well, this name does not need any introduction, but just to brief up, he's the chairman and CEO of Edelweiss Group. He started his career with ICICI at a time when ICICI was not even a bank. He co-founded Edelweiss in 1996 and spread it to the length and breadth of the country into many verticals. He is one of the most respected voices in the financial landscape of India. It's really great to have a beautiful time with you for this conversation, and I would love to learn a lot of wisdom words for you. So it's really a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Very excited to be here. It's always good to have an interactive conversation of this sort.
Right, sir. Okay, sir, year 2025 was a golden year for commodities, especially precious metals. What is your view for the next 2 years from here?
So I think in the short term it's very hard to say, but if you look at the macro trends जो अभी हो रहे हैं, there is a currency debasement going on in the world. US का भी de-dollarization हो रहा है. So I think gold, silver, copper, commodities as a whole will always be, I think there is a play in that. However, I think in the short term, there is going to be a lot of volatility because वो तो होता ही है market में कि in the short term market tries to discount everything in the future. So I think commodities have a play. The last year was a very easy one. It was straight one way ride. अभी थोड़ा choppy रहेगा, volatile रहेगा, but अगले 2 साल में as currencies come down, commodities will have to go up, and especially gold and silver जहाँ पे there is a storage value and it is a replacement to holding currency. So I think we are living in a world where short-term movements very hard to predict. Long-term structurally, I think next 2 years you should have a very balanced asset allocation.
Okay, so sir, is it only currency debasement or specifically for silver, it's industrial usage also?
So उसमें बहुत confusing है. मैंने काफ़ी articles पढ़े हुए हैं. There is industrial users, but industrial users में क्या होता है? Somewhere the way the world works is if the cost goes up too much, then there is efficiency that kicks in. So if you look at silver users in solar panels, it has been going down every year because there is more and more efficiency. Okay? With so much silver, you can get so much more output in the solar panel. So there are a lot of reports which saying that the industrial users will not go up as sharply as we expect. So there is an industrial growth that is there. But that was always there. For the last 80 years, it was there. But ये जो suddenly आया है was actually a bunched up under ownership. So market में a lot of things are at play. There is a liquidity part of it. There is a fundamental part of it. There is an under ownership, over ownership part of it that is also always balancing out in the market. So I would say now the time has come. I think equities have done well, but also at least global equities are slightly more overvalued. Interest rates में everybody is convinced short-term interest rates will come down, but the long-term interest rates will stay elevated. Yield curve will get much sharper. So what we recommend this time is a very balanced asset allocation. आपका थोड़ा return कम होगा, लेकिन आपको चैन की नींद आ सकती है. And we always also believe that your investment should not keep you awake at night. It should allow you to sleep at night.
Right.
So in this, what the next 2 years with all the geopolitics and the currency movements and the macro movement and the AI upheaval that is going on, we believe that it is a time to have a very balanced asset allocation across equities, bonds, fixed income, and what we call hybrids like InvITs and REITs.
Right, right. तो सर जैसे आपने मेंशन करा कि रिटर्न्स विल बी मॉडरेट, सो दिस यू सी फॉर नेक्स्ट 2, 3, 4 years or for a much larger period?
I think the next 2 years for sure. There is also good news. I think interest rates will come down. There is loosening going on, both the fiscal stimulus, monetary loosening, fiscal loosening, all over the world is going on. India में भी हो रही है, तो वो good news है. Growth will also come back. At least India का तो growth आ जाएगा. So I think the world has gone through. 2025 was a very upheaval filled year. A lot of changes with US,
Right.
Donald Trump and all that. So I think we have gone through that. So on the earnings and the fundamental side, I'm positive. On the market side and the valuation side, I'm conservative, and hence a very balanced asset allocation is what we would recommend.
So sir, we have seen a huge correction in small cap, mid cap valuations, right? So still you see the valuations are high, or you have started finding the valuations quite reasonable now?
I think it's very stock to stock, to be honest with you, because ऐसा नहीं कि small cap, mid cap एक ही company है. There are companies in large cap, mid cap, small cap which are fairly undervalued. Like even in a large cap, I still find State Bank of India as a good play on India's story.
Okay.
So there are opportunities in all three, but it is very company to company. Just because a company is small cap doesn't mean it is cheap or overvalued.
Okay.
It is very company specific. There are a lot of small cap companies which are growing very well, but the actual valuations have come down quite a bit.
Okay.
So again, I think even whatever is your equity allocation, I think it's very, at this time, it will be very stock specific rather than theme specific.
So you mean to say, when you say theme, you mean to say sectors, right?
Theme is either a theme like industrial, manufacturing, defense, वो भी theme है, और आपकी ये small cap, mid cap भी theme है.
ठीक है.
But I think things like I do believe India में hard assets will do well.
अच्छा.
I think banking will do well. I think owning assets like roads and others, like electricity, the biggest bottleneck in AI is going to be power. So all the power companies, the power generation, power transmission, उसकी जो demand आने वाली है वो बहुत आएगी. So stock specific, you can play out this. So start with the theme but end with the stock. अगर AI theme है, you can't just go and buy everything in AI, which was actually available 2 years ago, but now you have to be very stock specific.
Right. So as you mentioned right now that it's a theme based, right? So last 2 years we have seen that auto has done very well, metals have done very well, and banks has also done very well, PSU banks especially. And you mentioned that SBI still looks sort of steam left in SBI from here also. So which sectors among the three I mentioned आपको लगता है कि इनमें ज़्यादा steam नहीं बची है, and which are the sectors you feel ahead जो अच्छा परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं यहाँ से?
I mean, since I come from financial services, I'm very bullish on banks, especially PSU banks, who have really innovated a lot. They've got their act right. They've cleaned up the books, and they are currently in a good place. And as I said, I also like infrastructure companies in India. I also like, as I say, electricity and power generation companies in India.
Okay.
So there are a lot of plays available, but each one has to be studied. I myself don't study individual stocks as much, but I look at themes, and then there are a lot of analysts who then study individual companies. But I would say don't do theme-based investing. Start your analysis theme-based, but end with stock picking.
Makes sense, sir. Makes sense. Sir, जैसे अभी आपने बोला AI, right? So AI is the buzzing word everywhere. Now AI disruption की बात हम करते हैं, right? और अगर हमारा IT इंडेक्स स्पेशली हम देखें तो पिछले 1 महीने में 18% करेक्ट हुआ है, and it's because of AI disruption. सर आपका क्या व्यू है? What will happen to the IT companies first, and to the wealth management industry because of the AI disruption? इसमें आप क्या देखते हैं सर?
So I think the first one on the IT companies. See what happens. हमारे जो stock market में क्या होता है, जो आने वाले 5, 10, 15, 20 साल का हाइपोथेसिस है वो हम we convert into the आज का price. The stock market is a discounting mechanism.
Right.
So जो भी euphoria है, optimism है, pessimism है, fear है, उसको हम very quickly discount करके we want to, because stock market is always in a hurry to price all the good news, bad news as fast as possible.
Right.
While what happens in the world, there is nothing is plainly good or plainly bad. So the answer to always is how will AI impact the real world? It's always the answer is it depends. There'll be winners and there'll be losers of AI. But AI will impact. So there is no doubt AI is going to change a lot of things that we all have in life. But it will create winners, it will create losers even within industries. So idea is to again go back and understand who is agile, who is able to evolve, who is able to use AI for actually benefit.
Right.
And when I say benefit is you have to now think benefit to the customers. If you can deliver value to the customer, and if you can use AI in that, then you will be a winner. But you have to figure out how. It's not going to be easy.
Okay.
There is going to be a lot of work and agility required for that.
Right.
So I think जो market में हमने देखा IT sector का, IT sector में भी there will be winners and losers on AI.
Okay.
I've seen IT sector over 35 years now. Since I was in my ICSI days, I've been following it. Over 35 years, there have been 4 or 5 big trends in IT evolution, IT services evolution, and each time there have been winners and losers.
Right.
And there were some companies that adapted fast, some adapted. I think AI ka impact ka, the jury is out. We'll know it only in the next 2 years. Currently, the market is forming its own very quick knee-jerk hypothesis, which is a good thing. That is what markets work. कि जो भी impact दिखता है मुझे मैं आज के प्राइस में आ जाना चाहिए immediately. But the market is also always, the pricing of the market is always a hypothesis कि ये होने वाला है तो ये आज की प्राइस होनी चाहिए. Some of it actually works out, some of it doesn't work out, some is overestimation, some is underestimation. So the fact is, IT sector as a whole, the market is saying, and I agree with the market, कि IT sector, IT services is going to get impacted in a big way. ये जो impact होगा उसमें I believe then on top of that there will be winners and losers. Right. And the winners and losers will emerge in terms of who adapts and who doesn't adapt. Right. Even if you look at something as simple as PSU banks, not all PSU banks have done great and not all of them have done badly over the last 30 years also. Right. The ones which have adapted and grown and all have done well. So it's all a function of the individual company, the management, the leadership, all of that. Right. On the wealth management side, I think again AI, I think in financial services largely. तो आपने IT services की बात की. In financial services, our hypothesis is that AI is going to be an enabler because financial services is highly localized. You have to understand the need of the customer. आज आप देखिए इंडिया में asset management, wealth management, even banking, most foreign banks have not been able to do well. Okay. If you have seen over the years, आज आप देखिए all the large wealth managers, large asset managers, large banks are all Indian. Large insurance companies are all Indian companies. Right. Because financial services is not a very global industry. It's a very, very local industry. Okay. It's not a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi, which is the same Coca-Cola or a McDonald's or a Starbucks, which is the same all over the world. Financial service is very specific. So in our industry, आप देखिए, in asset management, we had Goldman Sachs, we had Fidelity, we had JP Morgan. In asset management, they all exited India. They all exited over the years. Right. Same thing we have seen in wealth, we have seen in banking. Citibank ने अपना business Axis Bank को बेच दिया. So there is going to be, and whoever global comes, they come with an Indian partner because financial services needs indigenization of a very high order. Okay. So जहाँ पे ये है, वहाँ पे I think AI will be an enabler.
And so will AI will reduce the cost of this industry? Like if somebody wants to get into wealth management or want to have his own wealth get managed, so they will definitely cost.
But ये तो last actually 30 साल का theme है. I have seen technology bringing down cost of operations every year. But आपका brokerage भी कम हुआ है. To go back 30 years ago, हम जब भी broking खरीदते थे, your commissions were 3%. आज
Right.
3 पैसे का भी नहीं है कमीशन.
Right.
It was 3%. So 100 times what it is now. But the cost was also high. But over the years, commission has come down, cost have also
Cost is
come
also
down.
reduced.
So अब देखिए broking में cost income ratio. So though the yields have come down a lot, cost have also come down. So ये तो theme है. AI से यही accelerate होगी. But इसमें cost will come down, people productivity will go up, but what you will charge to clients will also come down. So India that way will be a big beneficiary of AI because India में cost कम हो जाएगा. See, India is still on a per capita basis, we are still a very low per capita country. So we have to bring our cost down. Cost of infrastructure, cost of technology, cost of intermediation in financial services.
Right.
So जो 30 years ago financial service intermediation cost was 3 to 4%. अभी 1 से 2 के बीच में आ गया है.
Okay.
So customers have benefit है. And the intermediation cost is what I was speaking earlier कि जो कैपिटल प्रोवाइड करता है और जो कैपिटल यूज करता है उसके बीच में कितना खर्चा होता है आपको, वो इंटरमीडिएशन कॉस्ट है आपका. इंडिया इज टू बी 3-4%, 5%. अभी हम 1 से 2 के बीच में है. ब्रोकिंग का अलग है, बैंकिंग का अलग है, एसेट मैनेजमेंट का अलग है, बट 1 से 2 के बीच में आ गया है. मेरा तो ये मानना है कि ये इंटरमीडिएशन कॉस्ट इसका भी आधा हो जाएगा अगले 8-10 साल में.
और सर ये फिगर्स ग्लोबली क्या है? इंटरमीडिएट कॉस्ट जो आप बता रहे हैं ग्लोबली क्या है ये फिगर?
सो ग्लोबली अभी जो हम 1 से 2 के बीच में है, ग्लोबल इज अबाउट 70-75% ऑफ आवर कॉस्ट.
ओके.
और that will also come down.
Right.
So in the global arena also last 40 years costs have been coming down.
Okay.
So the intermediation cost is coming down by 8-10% a year.
Okay.
Whether it's an insurance company, whether it's a broking company, whether it's wealth management company, banking है, जो भी है, हर इंडस्ट्री के कॉस्ट intermediation cost अलग होते हैं. बट जो 4 से 5 था, if you remember 30 years ago when a mutual fund का NFO आता था, उसका कॉस्ट होता है 6%, which was called load. हम 6% लोड डालते थे. Commissions in broking used to be 3%, which is intermediation cost only. वो धीरे धीरे करके अभी 1 से 2 के बीच में एवरेज फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर का आ गया है. मेरा मानना है दिस विल स्टेबलाइज एट हाफ ऑफ दिस इन द नेक्स्ट 5-10 years, और ये हर टाइम आधा आधा होता रहेगा. सो एवरी 10 years इट विल फॉल बाय हाफ.
सर मैं ना वापस से आईटी कंपनीज वाले पॉइंट पे आता हूँ. जैसे आपने बोला कंपनीज विल बी अजाइल और कंपनी जो अडेप्टेबल होगी, सो दे विल फाइंड न्यू वेज, राइट. बट सर माय क्वेश्चन इज दिस कि जैसे आज ना बहुत डिबेट होती है कि बहुत सारे रिवॉल्यूशंस आए और उसने ह्यूमैनिटी को और आगे बढ़ाया, ठीक है, चाहे वो टायर रिवॉल्यूशन हो या मिड से व्हील रिवॉल्यूशन हो, फायर हो, एग्रीकल्चर हो, एनीथिंग एवरीथिंग, इंटरनेट रिवॉल्यूशन हो. बट सर एआई आई सी एज कि इट इज़ फर्स्ट टाइम आई हैव सीन समथिंग विच इज़ एक्चुअली रिप्लेसिंग ह्यूमंस, राइट. तो सर जैसे आज अगर लेट्स से इंडिया में लेट्स से अपने नंबर बोलते हैं 100 आईटी कंपनीज है, और definitely few companies will do very good, will adapt to it. But sir, the number of companies will reduce. So the displacement of jobs will occur. तो सर उस displacement of jobs के कारण आप इकोनॉमी में फर्दर रिपल इफेक्ट क्या देखते हैं? मतलब सर मैं ऐसे देखता हूँ कि जैसे आईटी सेक्टर एक ऐसा सेक्टर रहा है जिसने इंडिया को लोअर मिडिल क्लास से अपर मिडिल क्लास पे लाया है, राइट. तो सर अगर यहाँ डिस्प्लेसमेंट ऑफ जॉब्स होता है जो हम लोग बहुत नज़दीकी से देख रहे हैं अभी हाल, तो सर क्या मार्केट में SIPs इम्पैक्ट होगी, क्या EMIs हिट होगी, बैड रिपल इफेक्ट क्रिएट होगा?
सो ये क्या हुआ था 200 years ago when industrial revolution happened, the same thing happened. उस टाइम artisans say they were making pots and pans and cloth and all, हाथ से बनाते थे. ये वो सब मशीनों ने बनाना स्टार्ट किया. उस टाइम पे भी यही फियर था कि ह्यूमन बीइंग्स विल बी, इनफैक्ट आप जाके देखे किंग्स ने कहा था कि 100 साल में ह्यूमन बीइंग्स को काम ही नहीं होगा, दे विल ओनली बिकम कंज्यूमर्स एंड नॉट प्रोड्यूसर्स. सो इकोनॉमिक्स की एक रियलिटी है कि एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग इज अ प्रोड्यूसर एंड एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग इज अ कंज्यूमर. आज तक ये हुआ नहीं है. दैट डजंट मीन इट वोंट हैपन कि ह्यूमन बीइंग्स हैव बिकम ओनली कंज्यूमर्स, बिकॉज आपको कंज्यूम करने के लिए किसी न किसी को कुछ तो प्रोड्यूस करना पड़ेगा. एंड चेंजेस हैव हैपेंड. वी हैव मूव्ड फ्रॉम दोस फोन्स टू mobile phones, OTT platforms, all that has happened. But jobs destroy भी हुए हैं, jobs create भी हुए हैं. अगर मीडिया में, न्यूज़पेपर में जॉब डिस्ट्रॉय हुए हैं तो सोशल मीडिया में क्रिएट हुए हैं. अगर हम सब कंज्यूम करेंगे तो तो हम कुछ तो कंज्यूम करेंगे, सोशल मीडिया, समथिंग एल्स. वहाँ पे भी एंटरप्रेन्योर्स आ रहे हैं. पीपल आर डूइंग पॉडकास्ट एंड होस्टिंग शोज एंड मेकिंग मनी आउट ऑफ दैट. यूट्यूब एंटरप्रेन्योर्स आ गए हैं इंडिया में. तो my firm belief of India is what is in science called a complex adaptive system. It's called CAS. There is a whole concept of CAS.
Okay.
So complex adaptive system में क्या होता है? It's the system is complex. Like the human body is a complex adaptive system. Nature is a complex adaptive system.
Right.
Democracy, capitalism, they're all complex adaptive system.
Right.
They are complex and they are adaptive. Complex इसलिए कि यहाँ पे थोड़ा change हो गया तो it will change everything else.
Impact the whole chain.
It will impact. So आपने Jurassic Park देखा होगा. उसमें starting में when he says I'll control the whole thing and he said no, you will not be able to control because it will adapt. So the whole movie was based on complex adaptive system.
Okay.
That nature evolves. Whether it's nature, weather, democracy, capitalism, markets, human body, we also adapt.
Right.
What human body used to be 100 years ago to now, अच्छा भी हुआ है, बुरा भी हुआ है. आज ज़्यादा कैंसर हो रहा है, but when India got independence, average life expectancy was not even more than 30 years. Today we are 74 years.
Right.
But उसके साथ disease भी increase हुए हैं.
Right.
So जो भी revolution होता है, इसके दो पहलू है. एक साइड पे there will be creative destruction.
Right.
There will be destruction, but there will be creativity also. Somewhere that is how the world works.
Okay.
So कहीं ना कहीं opportunities आएंगे, कहीं ना कहीं. I don't think India के suddenly Indians will have no jobs. Yes, India में job का problem था, 30 years ago भी problem था, आज भी है, 30 years में भी रहेगा. But I think it will be more or less on the same lines.
Okay.
I don't believe the dystopian theory के किसी को खामी नहीं होगा. So that is one. I think ये evolution होता. और हर time पे humanity ने कुछ नया किया है. It was usually an answer to a particular problem or a need. And that answer becomes a problem going forward. Nuclear energy का भी, nuclear energy भी मिली आपको nuclear bomb भी मिले हैं.
Right.
And I think AI, I put it in that category. It's like nuclear energy equivalent, or it's like human cloning equivalent, where we have put the genie back in the bottle. हमने कहा है हम cloning करेंगे नहीं. AI में we are not able to do that. And that's why this chaos is also going out, putting restrictions on AI, having a governance model on AI. तो ये chaos रहेगा. It happened in industrial revolution also.
Okay.
It happened with nuclear के time पे भी हुआ था. So to give you an idea, in 1880 or something, 1880, 85, there was a problem in all the big cities in the world. And what was the problem? It was a health issue. It was a big global health issue.
Okay.
The issue was horse dung on the streets, because as all the big cities, Paris and New York and London had grown, everybody had horse carriages.
Right.
So the horse dung was getting spilled all over the city, which was spreading disease and all that. And there was a big, environment conference in New York on what to do to solve this problem.
Okay.
And at that time, nobody expected automobiles will come in next 15-20 years. But आने वाले 15-20 साल में ऑटोमोबाइल उधर बहुत वो था कि हॉर्सेस को रिस्ट्रिक्ट करो, बर्न करो, उसको फर्टिलाइजर बनाओ, वो सब आइडियाज थे. But suddenly humanity evolved something called cars. They were the answer to horse dung problem. Right. But now the cars have become a problem.
Right.
So cars के बाद ऊपर we are going to electric vehicles. Electric vehicles or AI. What is going to be the biggest problem in AI or electric? It's electricity.
Right.
To generate electricity also. So कहीं पे जो answer आता है, and it is true with human beings also. I always say that your strengths are also your biggest weaknesses. The same way the answers are also the problems in the future, and उसके भी आंसर निकालना
उसके भी आंसर्स पे निकलेंगे. राइट. सर अभी आपने मेंशन किया था डी-डॉलराइजेशन. तो ओवर द सेंचुरीज वी हैव सीन कि कभी जैसे स्पेन का डोमिनेंस था करेंसी में, उसके बाद इट मूव टू डच, उसके बाद इट मूव टू ब्रिटेन, एंड देन फाइनली टू यूएस, एंड नाउ डेज वी स्पीक लॉट अबाउट डी-डॉलराइजेशन. सर, इज इट रियली इनएविटेबल? विल इट बिकम बिग, एंड वेयर इट विल गो टू?
It has already started. So it has started. इसका एंड क्या होगा वो किसी को मालूम नहीं है. And there are usually, every time such big changes have happened, they have happened in two ways. They happen gradually, slowly. And then once in a while, there is a big event. Like the World War II was a big event from sterling to US dollar.
Right.
So I hope there is no war and we don't have a big upheaval. But ये gradual तो होगा. इसका answer क्या होगा मालूम नहीं है.
Okay.
Because the world has tried lot of things. हमने SDR try किया था. We had a lot of this, special drawing rights was a special currency. All that we had tried.
Okay.
World will find an answer. It will be chaotic and it will need some kind of a crisis. So ये जो $D भी है, crisis है, वो आएगी. अगले 2 साल में आने वाले, 5 साल में आने वाले, मुझे मालूम नहीं है.
Okay.
But ये gradual हो रहा है. At one point there'll be a crisis and the crisis will force us to find an answer.
Okay. Right, sir. So, FPIs have offloaded roughly $18 billion. We have seen that offloading has been done. So, क्या दो trigger points है which can make FPIs again investing in India with whole conviction?
I think, I personally think there'll be 2 or 3 catalysts on this. See what has happened last 3 years. It's not that they've lost faith in the India story. They've regained faith in a lot of other stories.
Okay.
So they've actually, India, FIIs were always overweight India. They were permanently overweight India over the years.
Okay.
What happened in last 3 years as China came back, because वो market 8 PE में हुआ था bottom उनका. So 8 PE में वो है. India was at 40 PE at that point of time. So I think and वो जो उनका एशिया का allocation है, तो उन्होंने इंडिया से निकाल के they went back to China. So at some point वो तो reversal होना था. Then there is a AI trade even in Asia going on, which is Korea, Taiwan, का जो AI trade equivalent है because of the semiconductor chips and all that. That is also, Korean market has gone up by 40%.
Yeah.
So there is a reallocation going on, and for the reallocation, India ka overweight, say they have gone to neutral weight now.
Okay.
Maybe they'll go to underweight. So एक तो ये जो rebalancing हो रहा है, the world is in an AI trade mode. India is seen to be a loser of AI.
Right.
तो अगर आपको AI play करना है, तो इंडिया में तो कुछ opportunity है नहीं. So you will pull money out of India and play the AI trade in other parts of the world. Korea, Taiwan, US, Nvidia खरीदो, ये खरीदो. So that is what is going on. So the other catalyst will be if the AI trade itself collapses. अगर AI का bubble हो गया, तो इंडिया के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. Because suddenly India is seen as a loser. If there is an AI crash, the only place to hide will be India. Will be India.
So इसी को anti-AI trade बोलते हैं, right? इसी को anti-AI trade है, right? So we call it anti-AI trade.
Yeah, anti-AI trade. The third one is India growth has to come back. We have to get our corporate earnings growth back. And उसके लिए I think fiscal stimulus, monetary stimulus, regulatory loosening, all these are very important. हम लोगों ने बहुत इंडिया को last 8-10 साल में over regulated कर दिया. Every entrepreneur you must be meeting is saying मुझे business ही करना है, stock market में invest करना है. वो इकोनॉमी के लिए अच्छे नहीं है, वो इंडिविजुअल के अच्छा हो सकता है. बट इकोनॉमी में वी नीड एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हु आर बिल्डिंग प्लांट्स, इन्वेस्टिंग इन बिजनेसेस एंड ऑल. सो कहीं ना कहीं ग्रोथ, द प्राइवेट सेक्टर कैपेक्स एंड ऑल हैज टू स्टार्ट अगेन. सो आई थिंक अगर ग्रोथ आ गया या एंटी एआई ट्रेड आ गया या ये एक बार रीएलोकेशन हो गया बैलेंस, वी आर स्टिल इन द मिडल ऑफ रीएलोकेशन away from India into Asia, other parts of Asia.
Okay.
So we have to wait for it. I think एक आध साल में भी और निकल सकता है, but who knows?
Okay. So, well, thanks a lot for giving your time. We really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
And the whole session was really with a lot of wisdom, a lot of learnings. Well, thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you. I really enjoyed this.